Hi everyone, how are you doing this morning? I'm sure you're doing very well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. You're welcome back to class. I'm so excited to have you here this morning. I am Mrs. Olainka. Today in English language class, we'll be doing part of a sentence. Part of a sentence. Part of a sentence. You can see from the topic, we're still talking about sentence. You can remember last week we talked about sentences and types. If you can remember very well, we talked about sentences and types last week. So today we'll be talking about parts of a sentence. Part of a sentence. So I want you to get yourself a very comfortable seat because you are going to be learning something very wonderful in today's class. Please come along with me while I tell you the objective of this class. At the end of this class, I will expect you to be able to recall all what you have been taught about sentence and types in the last class. Then I will expect you also to be able to state the parts of a sentence for me. Then I also expect you to be able to divide sentences into parts. I will give you a sentence and I expect you to divide it into parts. Then I will expect you to be able to attempt correctly 95% of the assessments on the topic. I gave you an assessment last week. Some people submitted theirs to my mail, while some did not. If you know you have not submitted your assignment for last week to my mail, I'm still expecting it. And then at the end of today's class, I'll still be giving you another assessment. I will expect you to get at least 95% and at most 100% in the assessment. So please come along with me and I'll tell you some things about last week's topic. The first question I asked you in the assessment last week, I said you should define a sentence. If you got it correctly, then you see it here. I said a sentence is a group of words usually containing a verb that expresses a thought in the form of a statement, question, instruction, or exclamation that starts with a capital letter when written. It ends with a full stop, an exclamation mark, or a question mark. So if you have anything around this definition, that means you've gotten your correct answer. Then the second question says, state two sentences under the following categories. The first one says interrogative sentence. Interrogative, like I told you in the class, is about questioning. Now, do you have a pen? Do you have a spare pen? Is a question under interrogative. Now we have, where have you been all this day? This day. Then that's another question under interrogative. Then we have another sentence under exclamatory. Oh, what an height. That's exclamatory sentence. Hooray, another is a year older. Now we have declarative. The sun set in the west. The declarative is a statement. Mommy has promised to buy me ice cream. It's also a statement, declarative. Okay, let's now come to today's topic, which is part of a sentence. I want you to pay attention very closely. It's a very simple topic, and I'm very sure that at the end of the class, you would have gotten something very tangible from the class. It says every complete sentence contains two parts. How many parts? Two parts. Every complete sentence contains two parts. The first part is the subject, and the second part is the predicate. What do I call it? The first part is the what? Good. And the second part is what? The predicate. Okay. So I'll be telling you what each of them means. Subject and predicate. Now, what is a subject? A subject is a person or thing that is doing an action, or the person or thing that is the focus of the sentence. The one that is doing an action or the one that is the focus of the sentence is the subject. In other words, the subject is the doer of an action in a sentence. The doer of an action in a sentence is the subject. So, like I said, a subject is the person or thing that is doing an action, or the person or thing that is the focus of the sentence. That is the person or the thing the sentence is focusing on, is the subject. Now let's look at the predicate. When you say what is predicate, what does it mean? The predicate of a sentence is the part that contains the action. That contains what? Contains the action. Don't forget, that predicate part actually start from the action word, which is the verb. So when you're looking for the predicate, just look out for the action word, where the action word starts from. That is where the predicate part of the sentence starts from. Okay, because the predicate is that part of the sentence that contains the action. So let's look at subject. Example of subject. I, you can see, that is the doer of an action in the sentence. I is the doer. They are the person doing the action, or the performer. You can call them the doer or the performer of the action. Okay, I, Henry, is another performer or another doer. The tornado, this is what the action is based on or is talking about. Action is talking about the tornado. Now, that is the subject. You can see I, you can see this I, Henry, and the tornado. That's the subject. Okay. Then coming to the other side of this chart, you see the predicate. You see the what? Predicate. Now we say that is where the action actually starts from. That's I love strawberries. You can say love is the verb and the action word there. Then Henry loved is head off. Loved is the verb. Then the tornado has crossed. That is the action word. So from this part down is the predicate. Is that okay? Okay, let's quickly go to compound subject. What do we mean by compound subjects? Sentences that have compound subjects have two or more subjects. So when you hear compound subject, what are you talking about? Talking about sentences that have two or more subjects. Okay, let's look at the examples we have here. Guitars and violins. You can see guitars and violins. We have two subjects there. Okay, Ali, Lupe, and Paul. How many subjects? 3. Good. So when we have more than one subject, then that subject is called a compound subject. What I say? When we have more than one subject, that subject is called a compound subject. Now let's go to predicates. Now predicate, like I told you, is where the action of the sentence starts from. And it's actually starting with the action word, which is the verb. Now we have predicates. Example 1. Was difficult. This is the predicate part of the sentence. Now the subject is the exam. The exam. That is the subject. Now was difficult is the predicate. Was is the verb. And then difficult is also a verb. So both of them are verbs and they are standing as the predicates. Now I have the second sentence here. Example 2. We have the man from the shop. The man from the shop. Okay. Now we talk about the predicate. Knows my secret. Knows is the action word, that's the verb. So from this action word down to the end of the sentence is the predicate. Let's quickly go to the conclusion. Okay. Now I've explained to you what a verb is. I've explained to you what subject is, and I've also explained to you what compound subject is all about. Don't forget, when the sentence has more than one subject, we say it is a compound subject. If you have 2 subjects or 3 subjects, we say it is a compound subject. So I've told you what a compound subject is. I have told you what subject itself is, and I've told you what predicate is, and how to identify or recognize predicate in the sentence. If you see a predicate in the sentence, for you to know that this sentence, this part of the sentence is the predicate, then it must start with what? With the verb. Okay, it might actually be the auxiliary verb or the main verb. Okay, if you start with something like shall, was, may, might, good, then you know that there's another verb that will stand after that auxiliary verb or modal verb that will call the main verb. So we have something like have seen, have, and seen. So the have is actually the auxiliary verb, and then the seen is the main verb. So from that have down to the end of the sentence is the predicate. So the predicate actually starts from the verb. Now all the words in the subject make up the complete subject. All the words in the subject make up the complete subject. So it's not composed, there must just be one person or one word. It's not composed, there must be I alone, or maybe Henry, like I said, it might be a long group of words. So all the words like we have here, green sneakers, Who? In this case, we have just one. My friend, we have two. Everyone in the school, we have three. So at times we may have four. All the words in the subject makes the complete subject. Now all the words in the predicate also make up the complete predicate. You can see are until to the end is the predicate, not just are alone, but everything to the end. Once up here, once alone cannot just stand as the predicate to the end of the words there, the predicate. Then does. My friend does. That's just what is there. So that means this does alone is the complete predicate. It's wearing shoes. You can see it's wearing bright shoes. So not just is wearing alone is the verb, but everything to the end is the verb, is the predicate. Sorry. Okay. Now, I know that my amazing puppies have been able to learn something wonderful into this class. So I wanted to be able to recall what we taught about sentence in the last class. Can tell me some of the things we said about a sentence in the last class. Okay. We said a sentence is a group of words when put together make a complete sense. Good. We also talked about types of sentences. Anybody want to tell me them? Okay. Declarative, interrogative. Good. All right. Now, can you tell me the part of a sentence? I gave you how many today? Good. I gave you two. Now, who can tell me the two part of a sentence that I gave you today? And good. Predicate. Now, can anybody tell me how to divide sentences? How do you divide a sentence into subject and predicate? Okay. The first part of the sentence, which contains the subject, which contains the doer of the action, is this subject. And the second part of the sentence, which contains the verb, is the predicate. Good. So the first part of the sentence that contains the doer or the performer of an action in a sentence is the subject. And the second part of the sentence that contains the verb is the predicate. That's very good. So this is an assignment for you again. I want you to send it to my mail in the front of this slide. You see my mail there, modupe.olayinka@greenlandall.org. If you know you're not sent in the first one, I will be expecting the two of them. Make sure you do your assignments. I wouldn't want you to be skipping assignments. Always do your assignment. Now, underline the subject. What they're going to do is you underline the subject and then circle the predicates. I hope you understood that. Underline the subject, circle the predicate. So what you're going to do is write these 7 questions down in your paper, answer the question in the paper, snap it, and send it to me on my mail. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I'll be expecting you in the next class as I'll be sending my class activity. Take care of yourself. Bye.